What are the 7 steps to wealth? It's what we're talking about today in the East Central Business Show. I'm joined by John Fitzgerald, property investor, author, and all-round good guy by the sounds of it.
Oh, that's simple, isn't it? I like the all-round good guy. I don't get that every day, but let me tell you that.
Well, you gave me that long list off camera. I thought, I'm not going to rattle it. But anyway, look, thanks for coming here today. Went to your property investment seminar recently, read your book. I'm inspired. It's a great story around yourself and what you do. But let's answer that, first up, let's get stuck into the 7 steps of wealth. You've got a really, a really hardcore strategy which you believe in heart and soul. Tell us about it.
It came about, I wrote this book 20 years ago and I've just come out with the 8th edition. And it's an interesting, I suppose, template because we stress tested the 7 steps 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And nearly 1% of all Australians have read the book. So it's been really well road tested. It's a real estate book. I'm a real estate guy. Bought, sold, developed nearly 20,000 properties. So that's a truckload of property. So I would have made every single mistake you could possibly make. And I tried to put in 7 steps how you can turn $20,000 into $2, $3, $4 million fairly much easy, without stress, over a period of time. It's not get rich quick. It's sort of get rich slow, but it uses compound growth and land.
Now you're saying you're saying 20 years on though, that the same basically formula, even though you're in 8th edition, the same basically formula applies.
Exactly the same formula. When I was writing the 8th edition, 20 years later, I looked at everything. There was not one step I would change, except location changed a little bit because we have nearly 1 in 5 and 1 in 6 people going to be working in healthcare in the next 10 years. Okay. So hospitals and education is a real growth area because we have about 800,000 or 900,000 foreign students in the country today. And that's grown. That grew by 100,000 last year. And they're little things to watch that I watch from a demographic perspective.
Okay, so hit us up with some of those 7 steps. I'm sure you can rattle them off.
Step one, and the most important thing, and what I put here is the vital difference between property and real estate. And you know what? Most people don't know the difference between property and real estate. If you're watching at home, you're thinking, and do I know? The difference is this. Real estate is the land. That's the only real part about it. Property is what sits on top of the land. And the golden rule is land appreciates, buildings depreciate. So if you are going to invest in property, step 1 here is buy land for growth. So make sure you're building a land bank. And the numbers, I'm very much a numbers person. I started in this business when I was 16, 17 years old.
Right, okay.
Can you believe it?
Well,
I'm a Melbourne boy. And one of 5 kids. My dad died in a car accident when I was 8 years old. Okay. Age 10, I was sent to boarding school. And age 16, 15, I was kicked out of school. And 16, I left school for good. And hitch-hiked from Melbourne to Queensland and started working in real estate on my 17th birthday. The luckiest thing in the world happened, and that was my mentors were Jewish property moguls who had habits of success. Because successful people have habits. And your success will come down to your daily habits. Even just watching stuff like this should become a positive habit. Whereas a lot of people, I was reading recently that a lot of people in the world have habits of failure. So they look for reading about someone's life failing or falling apart. And that's full of the news. Whereas others, like us, we're looking for inspiration.
Yeah.
My mentors taught me 2 things. Firstly, number 1, success is repetition. So your repetition will be positive, looking for that positivity. And number 2, there's only truth in numbers. Getting back to step 1 on 7 steps, buy land for growth, the numbers are astounding. And I'll give you the basic number. In 1985-86, I was buying land in South Brisbane, just not far from where we're sitting today. And I was paying $16 a square metre. Now, square metre, I talk square metre because the average size block of land back then was 1,000 square metres. Today, that land is worth about $750 a square metre.
Okay.
Now, what that means is it's gone up 45 times its original value, whereas the house price, the median house price, has gone up around about maximum 12 to 15 times.
Okay. So the value's in the land.
The money's in the land. The money is absolutely in the land. And not only that, from a compound perspective, it's outperformed Warren Buffett over the last 20, 25, 30 years. And Warren Buffett is the best investor in the world. And he talks about compound growth, and his compound growth rate is around about 9-point-something%. Australian residential land is in most of the capital cities well over 11% per annum for the last 30 plus years.
And we often say, we think, well, it can't go much further though as well. And there was even, since I've read your book, and I sat down with a French friend of mine, she's a financial planner and the sort of thing back in home country, and we did some basic math around land values in Paris and came up with $15,000 per square metre.
Yeah.
For centre of Paris. You go, that's just outrageous compared to what we're paying here, yeah? You know the numbers.
We got a long way to go. We got a real long way to go. But you don't have to look that much further than Sydney. Sydney, in 2011 we bought about 400 or 500 properties in Sydney, and we were paying for the land around about $450, $500 a square metre. Now that land is $1,500 to $2,000 a square metre, so it's tripled or quadrupled in value. While the Sydney median's gone up, median house price is doubled. And the real message is, step one, buy land for growth. If you're going to invest in real estate, first and foremost, ask yourself what you want to achieve at the end. And there's only 3 reasons to buy a property. One is to live in or use yourself. Second is for income. And the third is for growth. I'm a growth-focused investor. I want to invest in property that absolutely grows in value. So for me, I'm buying land, focusing on the land, and I'm making sure we have what it's called at least 40 or 50% land content, which means that 40 to 50% of our purchase price is in the land.
All right. Okay, cool. Now, we're trying to get through 7 steps. We've used up 7 minutes. We've got 1 done, I think.
That's right.
Now, anyway,
we'll go through the other 7 steps. But, that's the most important step, because if you can understand the difference between real estate and property and land, you see the world a different way.
I sure do. Already have. Okay. Well, anyway, now let's chop this one off and go to another episode. How do people get more John Fitzgerald?
The best, get a copy of 7 Steps to Wealth. It's in the bookstores. Or just go online, 7stepstowealth.com.au.
Oh, fabulous. All right, John Fitzgerald, please stick around. We've got more questions for you. That's another episode done at the East Central Business Show. We'll speak to you next time. Thank you very much for watching another episode of the East Central Business Show. What we're doing on the East Central Business Show is we're bringing you business leaders and the best of the knowledge. We want to bring them on the show and release that content so that that's something that we can share with you via this easy to consume format. So you can follow us across LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Google+, or just regularly visit the eastcentral.com.au/show website, pick out the best things for you and educate yourself on that premise. Now there's video content there for you, so you can just watch the video and inform yourself in your own time. We've also now podcasting that content as well, so it's really simple to consume. You can listen to it on the way to work in the car or during your daily exercise regime. Beyond that, we're also looking to connect with business experts. So if you consider yourself to be an expert in your field, please make contact so we can schedule you in and have you come on the show so you can release your content and increase your brand across our format. Beyond that, we also invite people to send us their email address so we can send you our monthly magazine. And that's just the best of the content, the best of the videos for the month, put out once again in an email, arrives in your inbox. So you can just go through and pick out the things that are really going to educate you and advance you in your field of expertise and in business. We're a business-focused show. So thank you very much once again for watching, and we'll see you next time.